you hit a plateau in the gym, then this is why. Now, the biggest mistake so many people do when they're trying to break past the plateau is they will do more sets, they'll do more exercises, they'll do far too much volume across the week, they'll increase their frequency, they'll do so many things, and they'll just end up burning out and ending up burying themselves into the ground. So the first thing that I want to cover, and this is kind of a case of, this isn't in complete order, that's more this side, this is what drives progress, but the things holding you back, the first one is form. So I see so many people and they'll set up on a bench press, swing weight, use momentum, not really set up correctly with their shoulders, likewise with the squat with their knees and their hip movements. So with form, then ultimately, we're looking to improve your technique. Now, the thing is with technique, is when you improve that, then we've got two things that happens. Stimulus goes up, and the other thing that happens is fatigue goes down. So a prime example, let's say we're using a bicep curl. You see guys, they walk over, pick up the dumbbells, and they kind of swing the weight up, shoulder rounds forwards, and they're jolting through the knees, arch through the lower back. What they're ending up doing is they're fatiguing their knees, they're fatiguing their lower back, their shoulder, they're bringing in all these movements, all these muscle groups that they don't want to be bringing in. And the one thing that they're not doing is stimulating the biceps, so we want to be stimulating the intended muscle. Now, following on from that, we often see people then get this right, which is great, perfect, but then you see them and they'll do 12 reps, say, for example, when in actual fact, they could do 24. So it's really important that we take those sets to failure. So it's always going to be important to make sure techniques first in terms of injury prevention, but then after that, we need to pair it. So a lot of guys, they get this right because they don't want to injure themselves. They might go towards a PT in the gym, or they might follow certain videos on YouTube. But the problem is that they don't then pair that with real high intensity. From there, we'll see loads of different programs, and an example could be that someone's biceps are lacking. So we just scribble down biceps, and they'll do back and buys. But by the time they get towards buys, they're absolutely smoked. So what you could do, instead of doing that, you could change where biceps is, or you could change the sequencing of a specific training program or session. So it could be that you're not very good with side raises, you put them at the start, and you might be stronger at a press movement. After we've done that, then we need to make sure in terms of frequency, it's a bit of a difficult one, this, because you ideally want to be training all of your weak points 2 to 3 times a week, but it ultimately depends on recovery. And I'm going to get onto that where it says what drives progression here, because this is going to make up what you do with this side. Now, balance is important, so this could be isolations, or it could be unilateral movements. So you might be doing a lot of pressing with a barbell, and you've got some kind of asymmetry. Your right side might be stronger than your left. We need to implement more dumbbell work. And the final one is obviously volume. Can we scale that up? Now, with all of those things, if this base is off here, then it just all goes to shit. We've got to make sure that this bottom section is absolutely nailed. So first of all, that's my great drawing of a bed there and a shake. I honestly, maybe we'll add in just a little squiggle there. I honestly envy some teachers that can draw these perfect whiteboards. So with recovery, we need to make sure we're getting adequate nutrition and adequate sleep. If we don't do that, this whole thing here is just a waste. It just is. We've got to make sure those two things are nailed. After that, then we're looking at volume and frequency. If you get these two nailed, I know that we ideally want to scale volume up, and people say less is more. It can be, and I know that people like Dorian Yates style training where it's like kind of low volume, high intensity. You still want to do that, but if we can have a chance to scale that up, and based on like the nutrition and the training being in a good place, we can get these up a little bit higher than people make out. You know, I started, especially with volume, My first program, I'll put up the screenshot here on the side. That was my initial kind of push-pull legs. You can see there's a lot of volume there. And I know I was 20 and I was a lot younger to recover, but still, I'm seeing a lot of guys going in and they're doing 1 or 2 sets. They need to add more, especially because they need to learn this style of things. Now, next thing, structure, form, intensity. So if it's 5 days a week, we need to make sure that the structure's nailed. Form, then every single week, I cover form videos with clients and I will go through the breakdown, and then intensity kind of ties in here with the form videos. If I can see that you're putting a weight down and I think, right, you've got more weight, more reps in the tank or more weight, I'll be like, right, here's specific targets. I want you to add this amount of weight and add this amount of reps next week and scale this up. Finally, these kind of things just, do the rest. They should be a byproduct of all of this stuff being laid out, then the plateau is broken. So one of the biggest things that I've been helping guys with since coming into coaching is I found that they've been training 4 days, 5 days, they've been eating a decent amount of adequate protein, they've been tracking calories on MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck, whatever app they use, and they've had coaching apps, they've had spreadsheets, but like their physique hasn't changed in 2, 3, 4 years of training. So it's super important. So that's why the specific offer and the people that I help is to get them from where they're at and then completely go into this in detail as to how we can really improve your training performance. So I'll put a link below of the 7 common mistakes that people make with their chest training. I've also put a link below for people to inquire about coaching. So click the link below and just ping over a message. Make sure to like, share this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one.